Hi everyone, welcome again to G9ija TV News Review. Today we'll be talking about some few events that actually took place. I hope everyone had a great week or a great day. We're already in the middle of the week, so we've got some interesting events to talk about. So swiftly moving on, I think we'll be starting with our man that decides that is the real terrorist of Nigeria. Um, the story that we're starting with today is about the notorious bandit, Turji Bello. I don't like calling this guy's name because this guy has called out the security services, teasing the army, saying nothing can happen to him. He's not afraid to die. He can do whatever he likes. So, lo and behold, this guy seems to be calling for peace dialogue with the federal government. So that means that the Nigerian army, they are definitely doing their job, because if this guy is not feeling the heat, he is feeling the heat. That's why he's calling for peace. So without much ado, he said, Turji Bello, a notorious terrorist operating in Zamfara state, has called for peace dialogue with the federal government to address the ongoing violence in the region. In a video released on Monday, which quickly went viral, Bello criticized both the current Zamfara state governor, Dado Lawal, and former governor and current defense minister, Bello Matawali, for politicizing the insecurity in the state. Can you imagine? Bello's call for dialogue comes amidst intensified operations by security forces, which have led to the death of several of his fighters and the surrender of others. Yo, told you. In the 5 minutes video, Bello appeared armed and seated on a motorcycle in a forested area. He stated that peace would only return to Zamfara if the Fulanis, a group often involved in the violence, were no longer targeted by security forces and vigilante groups. This guy seems to want to make it out like, he's some kind of Fulani champion, you know, when at the end of the day, he's not. His appeal for dialogue marks a notable development, particularly as security forces continue their campaign to end the reign of terror in Zamfara and other northern regions. Governor Dauda Lawal and Bello Matawali labeling each other as terrorist sponsors will not help. I want the people of Zamfara to understand that they are just politicians without the interest of the people of Zamfara in their heart. When Mr. Matawali was the governor who was sponsoring us, similarly, when Abdulaziz Yari was the governor who was sponsoring us, nobody is sponsoring us except God. Mm. It was during the administration of Yerima that the government sold out the grazing reserve and legalized the killing of the Fulanis. When Mahmoud Shinkafi came on board, he tried unsuccessfully to address the problem. Abdulaziz Yari came and empowered the vigilante, but we are still struggling. This is why we are calling on all of you to come and collaborate with us for peace to reign and stop the bloodbath in Zamfara. Guns and airstrike will not stop us because we are not afraid of death, right? The terrorist leader also confirmed the killing of his master, Halilu Sububu, another terror kingpin neutralized by airstrike from the Nigerian Air Force, noting that his death had emboldened the younger generation of fighters to continue with their bloodbaths on the people. Um, he said Kachala Alilu Sububu is not the first person to be killed. Several others were killed. The killing of Halilu Sububu will not deter us from doing what we're doing unless you stop killing our brothers in Zamfara, Sokoto, Katsina, and Niger states. Your only plan is to exterminate the Fulani race while God has been protecting us. Even if you kill us, it's God who ordained that to happen, but it's not by your power. The thing about this guy is that this is what happens when you know there's a lot of factors. Things are not just happening in isolation. There are several uh, factors that actually brought all about this. And I will always say corruption. Whenever you have all this, disharmony, all this terror happening in the society, you need to begin to look at the very heart of it is corruption. because some people will come in believing they are Robin Hood, robbing the government to help the poor. I mean, obviously, this guy's idea of helping is the Fulani community. You can see that is a twisted ideology, because this same person is the one that kills them as well, whether they are Muslim or anything. He kills them, doesn't care. So it's not a matter of that whether he's attacking Christians, and sparing Muslims. Anyone, he just kills. Now he comes around saying that, oh, okay, let's talk peace. And that is really because of the fact that, he's feeling the heat. If not, this was the guy that was boasting now, saying all sorts, insulting the government. I don't blame him now. So, at the end of the day, the most of the inflation people who have empowered this guy, that is why we are having this situation. I'm not even going to bother playing his videos, giving him oxygen. So that is that. So now we're now going to the United Kingdom. This one is quite interesting. There's a lot of stuff that's been said about disinformation. We need to be really, really very careful. When people get information, when they hear about information, you need to understand that, if you don't check or double check, because in the times that we're in now, people can say all sorts, or they can take what you're saying out of context. What matters mostly is that always look at the context in which it's being spoken about. Let me quickly share this. This is about Kemi, is it Badnock, who happens to be the leading, one of the leading prospective leader of the Tory party in the United Kingdom. So something, I just saw this story and I just felt that, I've never met her before, but I do realize at the end of the day that something must be off. Let me just show you this story. It says Kemi Badnock mocks migrant workers, describe them as bottom wipers. Look, it says Nigerian-born British politician Kemi Badnock, Badnock or Badnock, take your pick, mocks migrant workers, describe them as bottom wipers in now viral video. She was born in Wimbledon, London. Her parents are of Nigerian origin. Her childhood was spent in part in Lagos and the United States. She returned to the United Kingdom at the age of 16. Take a listen. Yes, take a listen. Just keep, before I play this video, all I just want to say is that keep an open mind and listen to what she has to say. Then we'll talk about this.
And I want this country to be great for my children as well. We need to control it. We need to make sure that we are thinking about the next generation, not just who's going to wipe bottoms for us today. That's not good enough. And I want this country to be great for my children as well. We need to control it. We need to make sure that we are thinking about the next generation, not just who's going to wipe bottoms for us today. That's not good enough.
Okay. So, I mean, I would like some comments. I mean, what do you think? Do you think she's actually saying that do you think she was actually referring to the actual fact that she's referring to the migrants as bottom wipers? I don't think so. Personally, I don't think so. And the reason why I actually said I don't think so is the fact that I think it's been taken out of context. Number one, what she was actually referring to was that she was talking about people coming into the country, okay, and she was talking about the fact that she was making reference to migrant workers, but not in a degrading manner. What she's saying is that, so it's not like we're just bringing in people just to come and do certain type of work. That is what she's actually saying. She's not saying, oh, of course, the choice of word. I mean, if you know anything about the way the British do speak, you will understand that it actually, this is something that they will say, but not in the way it's being connoted. It's being made out like, oh, she was insulted. She was not. She was not. Everybody knows that. Look, when migrant workers actually do come here to do care work, anybody can actually. There's dignity in labor. People have done it. That's the truth. People have done it. At least they are not stealing. So it's those that want to make it out like she's insulting the people who are coming to do the work. They know exactly what they're coming to do, and she is actually saying it in a different context. You know, she's actually saying it in a different context, and I think it should be seen in that light. I'm actually wishing her all the best that she actually does make it in, in regards to um she's actually running at the moment, right? I think there are about four contenders now for the head of the Tory party, because whoever wins that, if the Tory do come back into power, they will actually, if they then have an election and the Tory actually do win, will become the prime minister. So there's every possibility that Kemi might actually become the first black uh, of African parentage, and I think she was actually born in Nigeria anyway. To become prime minister in the United Kingdom, it's a very real possibility. So watch out for her. Even if she doesn't win this time around, I think she's a rising star. She's quite brilliant, very funny, but very serious as well, very articulate. I'm sure you can all see that. So that is that one. I don't know why people like to actually say things, and if you're not careful these days online, we need to be careful when we talk about things. Now we're now moving down to Gen Z. This is about a guy. I mean, the reason why I've actually picked this story is about a guy that was talking about Gen Z, about what happened. Gen Z, the story of Gen Z, you know, is not just about the Western world. Is across the planet. And so I've got this gentleman by the name of Bale, and he said, "Man shares why some companies don't like employing Gen Zs." This babe, did an error that cost the company 2.5 million. I believe they're actually talking about Naira. Uh, Cost the company 2.5 million deal. She was slightly bashed by the managing director for negligence of duty. Before you know it, this lady went to toilet to cry and resigned with immediate effect. So then went on to say, now why some of these companies don't like employee Gen Z. You know, so this is one of the key things that when they talk about uh, the Gen Z generation, that they are so flaky. Any little thing, before you can say hello, they might think you are saying that hello might mean something else, and before you know it, they are telling you that they are having some mental breakdown. God helps this generation if they have to fight a war, and the only people that you have is Gen Z. Wow. So anyway, let's look at some of the comments. Someone said, "LOL, any small thing you go dey hear my mental health." Then someone else actually did say, what they seems to know much is phone, chocolate, ice cream, Uber, Bolt, bike deliveries. Count them, all the things that waste money. Then someone else said, if it's a man with family, knowing that he has to pay, he has bills to pay, he will even be thankful that the boss did not issue him with the query. Then another said, our own better. Let somebody with better emotional psychological shock absorber take the position. Well, you hear that. There's a lot that is being said about Gen Z. I think we'll be having, I think it's a story point that we'll be taking very soon on the Big Mic. So, Gen Z, if you're all out there, I mean, give some comment. Is it true? Do you think that Gen Z are one of the, they are not really good for employers? So, if you, I mean, give us some comments there. Put it in the comment section and let us actually know what you actually think. So I just want to say, please share this link, and please subscribe if you've not already done so. Right. So moving on to the next one. This is a story about a guy that was sacked. You know, when you actually, sometimes in life, some things do happen. And when those things happen, we fight tooth and nail. Some of us, God wants to bless you, but you are like, no, I'm going to stay where I am. You like where you are or where you think you ought to be. They are paying you good money, not knowing that God has something better. Let's watch this story. So he says Nigerian man shares story of how he was forced to relocate from Nigeria after his boss sacked him just to promote his girlfriend. This dude, a Nigerian man, is it Baridua Badon? I don't know which part. Maybe like the the middle belt. Has shared his testimony of how he got a better job overseas after his boss fired him just to promote his girlfriend. That is the boss girlfriend. In a post shared on X, he was working with an NGO and was earning about 1 million naira, 1 million naira per month, which is quite good. When his boss had him fired, so he can promote his girlfriend. And he said he saw a fellowship program sponsored by the German president and other industries, which he applied for and was able to move to Germany. He revealed how much progress he has made since relocating from Nigeria. Why did I leave Nigeria? He said. Was I even doing well before I left? I was working with an NGO earning about 1 million per month in 2017. Our overall Oga in Abuja sacked me because he wanted to promote his girlfriend into my role. My manager fought for me to no avail. I fought and cried and prayed to no avail. A week later, I saw a fellowship program sponsored by the German president and other industries in my class WhatsApp group. I was very desperate to leave the country. It was an intern role, but I wanted to leave by all means. I applied for the program and qualified as one of the 47 fellows out of 5,600 applications from 45 African countries. This was my profile when I was in the program. I didn't apply for a visa. The German government fixed one for me at my visa interview by a Nigerian lady in the embassy. Was Doc, why are you still single with this kind of amazing CV? That person must definitely like him. During the period of waiting, I got another NGO role in Abuja, paying in USD. The toxicity in the Abuja office was worse than my previous NGO. God just made sure I don't try changing my mind. Guess what? My flight to Germany was on August 1st, 2019, and the US government closed the NGO office in Port Harcourt in July. That's my Oga girlfriend lost her job and was jobless for years. I heard that my Oga is still jumping from one program to the other in Nigeria while I'm vibrating on a global scale. God allowed all the bad events to happen because He wanted to make me very uncomfortable to move. He knew I would not leave a 1 million naira job for an internship. God turned what the enemy meant for me into good. Do you have a relationship with Jesus? May God make you uncomfortable. I turned 37 yesterday and looked back on how my life has changed since I moved to Germany 5 years ago at 32. At 32 equals 1. I moved from earning in naira to dollars to euro within a year. Left a toxic relationship. Completed my first execution education with Cambridge. 33. Took my first international role. Tripled my salary in euro. Finished my MBA. Anyway, I think the point of all of this is that look, if ever you find yourself, that you are in your comfort zone, everything is going well, and some things actually come in to rock your boat, maybe you should just make that move. Maybe to just make, because mostly comfort is the enemy of excellence. To a greater place, to go to a greater place, you have to be dissatisfied with what you have. It's good to be grateful. You need to be, I think you just need to be discerning. Being discerning meaning that where you are at any point in time, you need to look at, is that your final destination? That is why you know being comfortable is always the enemy of the, of the great things you can actually do. Because once a man or a woman is actually comfortable, you don't want to go anywhere else. Everything is happening. You don't have to make much effort. That's it. You know, there was a time in my life as well, same thing, when I was actually working in IT, and the area of IT I was working with then, I got so good at it that, if I finish a contract on Friday, maybe like two, I will have like two contracts waiting for me on a Monday. And the truth of the matter is that I wouldn't even have decided which one I was going to attend, you know. So, and whenever there were issues that were raised to be dealt with, within, literally minutes, I already know what the issues and I know what the resolution is. That was how good. But at the same time, for me to actually go to a better place, you know, that means that I had trepidation, because I'm going to be living somewhere I was so comfortable with, that I was the superstar. So you can imagine. And now this was more of a challenging role. Of course, it was more money, everything. You know, I wasn't really keen on leaving. So I mean, I can sort of identify with what this gentleman is actually saying there. So for you folks, for some of you who are at the top of your game, career wise and all that, business, well, for most people, business is not their thing. That's fine. But the truth of the matter is that salary is the enemy of profit. So you have to decide, is it profit you want, the salary? There must be, the point that you start is where the place of your salary, but that is not where it must end. The world has changed. So I get people saying, oh, well, I don't really feel like doing this, I don't really feel like doing business. I'm so happy, I have my, my pension, my retirement and all. Well, the truth of the matter is that some believe in, retirement. Yeah, you have to understand that when you are your own boss, there's nothing like retirement. There's so many other people, but we'll talk about that, in our program, which is the Big Mike. But what I would just say is that, for this gentleman, things, God rocked his boat where he was comfortable, 1 million. And then he was fighting tooth and nail to remain. He said he was fasting, doing all sorts, going to church 7 days a week, everything. At the end of the day, it was God himself that was changed. It wasn't the devil. God just wanted to move him into a better place, and that was what happened. So I hope everyone is getting some ideas from this. So if they're trying to chase you somewhere, maybe God is taking you to a bigger place. Now, some of you remember the story of the naval rating that they wanted to disarm him, and they started shooting the guy. He refused the order that for him to surrender his weapon, and he refused, and he started shooting into the air, and the military, I don't know whether it was military police that came to arrest him. They still went after him and disarmed him, and he was detained for 6 years. He said Seaman Abbas, military dismisses naval rating, detained for 6 years. I won't bore you with going through most of the story, but I'll just give you a brief lowdown of what I've actually read earlier. What we actually found out was that this guy, um, honestly, if you ask me, so I mean, if you ask me somebody with psychology background, this guy has issues. The thing about the military, I did my service with them, at least partly. One thing that I found out is that the moment there is breakdown, that you are given an order and you say no, you don't carry out that order, just forget it. The military can't tolerate that. It's not so much about hardness, that sort of E-man thing. No, this is it, because the military is about where a senior officer gives you a command. It is not up for debate. It is not where they say, sorry, are you having mental breakdown? Are you? No. Of course, the military does looks after his own. But when you are given an order, that's why you hear things like, within Nigerian military anyway, obey the last order. They don't want to hear anything. And that is how it should be. Absolutely. If they're under fire, they are throwing bombs. If you say that, oh yeah, move, you have to move. That is how the military works. It is not a place where you now say that, okay, we want to have campaign. Let's discuss, your mental health being, or give me something to cover my head. Once you are giving the order, that's it. You need to move your ass. Sorry about the language, but that is just how it is. So um a commanding officer, because apparently there have been issues, so they didn't really go into the core details of the. But one thing that I took away from was that a commanding officer gave him an order to be quiet. This guy refused. Wow. So just forget about any other thing. With the military, it is not a civilian thing. That is how they roll. That's how they move. You're giving an order, or more, you better will be that order. That's it. If not, job done. The person is finished. There's no room for let's debate and let's vote. Should we go or not go? With a commanding officer, doesn't happen. So the guy has been dismissed anyway. So and I think is the best thing for everyone. The guy out there, because this guy he can't follow orders. So for anybody out there that wants to go into it, if you know you can't follow orders, you're one of those people that let's discuss your way. Just go and look for the next political party and join. That's the perfect place for you. So there you go. So the last but not the least is a very sad one. When I say sad, it's not like somebody died, but in terms of this story about a trans, should I say trans man? If I just get confused with the thing, is a trans man that was accosted in Abuja. I just feel that it says an Abuja cross-dresser attacked and stripped naked in public. Now, this is what I want to say. I do not support transversites or whatever. I don't. Gay, that is my personal, it's my personal thing. I've worked with people who are gay, also to have been, trans men, trans women. I've worked with them. That is the law of the land here. You work with them. Nobody has forced me to like anybody. And I don't, we are very civil. We get on with the job, being professional. We do what we need to do and everybody go their way. That's fine. I don't have to be your friend. Do you understand? But one thing that I will not like is that, in any civil society, the way, yes, look, the guy, in terms of being a Christian, yeah, would I support that? Absolutely not. But having said that, that does not mean that then, we start attacking these people, being judgmental. The irony of all of this is that some of these people that, attack these people go behind, they sleep with them. That's the truth. But when they're outside there, they pretend like, in fact, they are the first people to throw stones at them, so that people can, the more dastardly their act is attacking, lesbian, gays, and things, the more so that they can demonstrate that they hate it. But the truth is that for a lot of them, they like them. And it's because until they are caught, you wouldn't know. So it says an Abuja crossdresser was recently attacked and stripped off after being confronted by a group of people. The unidentified crossdresser was first confronted over his dressing before he was stripped off in public. He was later let go with a warning not to dress in such a way again. The attack comes 2 months after a popular crossdresser, Abuja area mama, was murdered. His lifeless body was found lying along the Katampi Mabuchi Expressway in the FCT. So this is wrong. This is wrong. Yes, we do not accept the addition itself, but everybody has a right of life as long as they are not trying to load it. You see, this is where I have the issue. This is where I have issues with the lesbians and gay people. When you want to try and you can, your right must not transgress and my right will not transgress yours. That is fine. But to try and make it like I must accept, I must, no, it ain't gonna happen. That's not gonna happen at all. Any sort of violence against them is a no. It's no. We are a civil society. We shouldn't have that, because usually what happens, I mean, there are times when you've seen armed robbers have been caught, and before you can say they become the the judge, the jury, and the executioner. Somebody steals an iPhone or a phone, Before you know it, they've put tires on their neck, they've killed them. There are people who are politicians who have stolen billions. There's not one pinch on them. So you now have this guy, and the next thing, yes, before, I mean, from what they've said here, anyway. So I don't think I really want to replay this because it's really sad. It's really, really sad. I actually watched the video. They were asking the guy, obviously, how these people, how they roll. Of course, for me, look, that is him. And I just believe that, some of these guys, they do need help. Honestly, they need prayers. That is all. As a Christian, that's the way we tackle this sort of thing. It's not by beating them or anything. It's a spiritual thing. Nobody should be attacking them. There's no, the is always, these sort of things. I don't know what those people were trying to achieve. Imagine if we're in a society where everybody just attack anybody that you think, hey, I mean, for instance, even women. I've seen where they say, oh, your skirt is too short in Nigeria, and they started attacking them. I'm not saying that people should be going around stackers or we should have decent dressing, but look, if that is how they want to do their thing, then let them be. Pray for them. But who made you the judge and the jury? Before you know it, some have started assaulting them sexually. It's wrong. In the name of you're not supposed to dress that. I'm like, who made you a religious police? The God who has created us, that who rules over the affairs of men, can see, and he knows how he will deliver. But for people now to come and to pontificate and then begin to walk around in this self-righteous and start attacking other people and say that, oh, then what will happen after a while? You'll be surprised. Some men too will be attacked. Now they're like, your beard is too long, your beard is too short, or you don't have a beard. Or before you know, they're like, oh, you're not supposed to wear high heel. Why are you dressed like that? Why are you looking like that? You're not. Oh, come on. This is the stuff of some religious zealots. And some of these people, they are not even really anyway. But the bottom line is that it's just not right. It's just not right. So thank you guys. Yeah, just let me know if you can leave some comments. What do you think? Do you think this is right? So it shouldn't be anyway. So it's not even a matter of that. Can this be right? It is not, definitely not right. End of story. Period. So thank you very much, everyone. So my name is Olatunde. Just want to thank you, and then we'll be back again tomorrow, same time, and God bless.